Hello, it's Yolie Medina, civil attorney. And I make a point of saying civil attorney because I don't want to misrepresent myself as a criminal attorney, because that I am not. But I do know a lot about criminal law, and I've studied it, and I've always had an interest in it. But today I want to talk about the arrest warrant for Brian Kohberger in Pennsylvania. So I looked at the motion to suppress the arrest warrant that was recently filed by the defense. And I want to take you there. Let me pull it up. Here it is. And just so you can see, this is the motion to suppress and memorandum in support regarding the arrest warrant. Okay. So I'm going to skip to page 4. And here, well, it's actually page 3 a little bit. So the last paragraph on page 3 says, the first question this court must determine is whether there is a conflict of laws in this matter, i.e., whether Idaho law or Pennsylvania law controls the validity of the arrest warrant for Mr. Kohberger. It says Pennsylvania courts require a warrant for a particular residence to go after a person police are aware has an arrest warrant. Okay, so the need for a warrant for a fugitive from justice or for a fugitive from another state is codified in 42 PA CSA 9128 and 9129. So let's take a look at those sections. So (9128) is what's cited, and this is the Pennsylvania 42 PA CS 9128. Issue by governor of arrest or of warrant of arrest. Okay, so this is when there is a fugitive, an arrest based on a fugitive warrant. So it says, if the governor decides that the demand should be complied with, he shall sign a warrant of arrest, which shall be sealed with a state seal and be directed to any peace officer or other person whom he may think fit to entrust with the execution thereof. The warrant must substantially recite the facts necessary to the validity of its issuance. Okay, so it sounds like this, whatever LE law enforcement wants to do with regard to arresting someone under a fugitive warrant, they have to give that information to the governor so he can decide that whether or not the demand should be complied with. That's what it sounds like. And then they also cited 9129, manner and place of execution. And it says, such warrant, and I believe this would be the governor's warrant, shall authorize the peace officer or other person to whom directed to arrest the accused at any time and any place where he may be found within this Commonwealth, and to command the aid of all peace officers or other persons in the execution of the warrant, and to deliver the accused, subject to the provisions of this chapter, to the duly authorized agent of the demanding state. So, the other thing that they're asking about, or that the defense is asking, is whether or not Idaho law or Pennsylvania law should apply. If the court finds that Pennsylvania law should apply, then I'm wondering if Pennsylvania law requires the governor to issue an arrest warrant under the fugitive statute, because that is what it sounds like. And as far as I can tell, I don't see that there was a governor's warrant. So there was also the issue of additional probable cause that is required in Pennsylvania. And my understanding, and if you go look at one of the videos I did on Brian Kohberger being arrested under the fugitive statute, my understanding is that in order to arrest someone under the fugitive statute, and well, in general in Pennsylvania, it seems that they have to have additional probable cause. And when I was trying to figure out what additional probable cause meant, I looked to the press conference after they arrested Brian Kohberger in Pennsylvania. And I have a video about that if you want to take a look at it. So basically, it's in order to have additional probable cause to execute the arrest warrant in the manner in which they did, breaking down doors and smashing in windows in the middle of the early morning hours and holding up everybody, holding a gun to everybody, is if there is a link between the arrestee and the crime, a link, some kind of link, not just circumstantial evidence, but a link. And so I believe the link is the IgG, or strike that, is the DNA on the knife sheath that was compared to the trash DNA. And it's complicated because that's how they matched him at first, but then they got a swab later on which matched the DNA on the sheath. So I hope I'm saying that right. If not, please correct me. But in any event, the additional probable cause was a link. And if you look at the press conference where people are asking questions, and you'll see that to do what they did and arrest him in the manner in which they did, you need additional probable cause. And so it's very interesting. I'm wondering how the judge is going to rule on this motion in terms of the conflict of laws in applying Idaho versus Pennsylvania. But I think that the fact that they arrested him under a fugitive warrant was a mistake, but I don't know. I mean, who am I? But if he really did commit the crime, this could be a mistake if they didn't have the governor's warrant for his arrest. I don't know if additional probable cause would overrule the fact that you need a governor's warrant to arrest a fugitive from justice. But in any event, Brian Kohberger was not a fugitive from justice because he didn't flee when charges were pending. And that's what the statute basically says. And if we go to the actual statute, I think it's 9134. Here's 9134 section. So it talks about whenever any person within the Commonwealth shall be charged on the oath of any credible person before any judge or issuing authority of this Commonwealth with the commission of any crime in any other state, and except in cases arising under 9127, which does not apply in this case because Brian was in the state at the time, was in Idaho state at the time of the commission of the crime, with having fled from justice, or with having been convicted of a crime in that state and having escaped from confinement, or having broken the terms of his bail, probation, or parole, or wherever complaint shall have been made before any judge or issuing authority in this Commonwealth, setting forth on the affidavit of any credible person in another state that a crime has been committed in such other state, and that the accused has been charged in such state with the commission of the crime. So it does talk about, a fugitive escaping, confinement or fleeing. So when Brian, my understanding anyway, when Brian Kohberger was in Pennsylvania. He was there for the winter break. So when he left Idaho, there were no charges pending against him. So I don't know how this fugitive warrant would apply to him, and whether or not the governor's warrant was necessary. And without that, I don't know that the arrest was proper. But again, I don't know. I'm just looking at this from a civil attorney standpoint, and it seems to me like they would have needed a governor's warrant, unless the additional probable cause overrides that, and I don't know that it does. But it's going to be interesting to see what the judge decides regarding the conflict of laws and what law is going to apply. So those are my thoughts. I know it's kind of convoluted, but those are my thoughts, and let me know what you think, because this is interesting that they arrested him under the fugitive statute. So anyway, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks. Bye.